cruelty to horses, cruelty to animals generally, but especially to horses and donkeys, is tragically on the rise these days. And Sarah, who's the inspiration of the Horse Refuge, about 3 years ago, I think, found herself in a situation where she was collecting horses that were given to her because she was running somewhere else. And she just went, I've got to start up a charity, I've got to have a refuge where these horses can live safely. And so she took over this spot of land in, I think it's on the edge of Essex, Suffolk, and she's got about 40 residents now, permanent residents. Some of them are so severely damaged. I mean, we're talking about horses that have been beaten and broken. I mean, not in the usual term, but they're, thank you, Louis, I know, their bones have been broken, their spirits have been broken, they've been starved, they've been abused. The cruelty that's been elicited on them is just simply breathtakingly awful. And she has a very special gift, and she is able to get close to these animals. It takes time. She'll often sleep in their stables with them. She'll get a vet out at the slightest touch if the animal is in danger. And, you know, this all costs money. In the winter it turns into a bog up there, so there's all the stabling and the mucking out and the maintenance that needs to happen. And vets' fees alone, I mean, in the winter it's about, I think, £2,000 a week. The outlay for somewhere like this horse sanctuary is astounding. And people say, well, why don't you just put the animals down? What have they done to deserve being put down? They've had a lifetime of cruelty. Surely they deserve a lifetime of comfort. I usually quote Gandhi when people ask me these questions, in that I think he's absolutely right. He said, you can always judge the moral state of a nation by the way it treats its animals. And if our attitude is going to be, oh, that horse is at death's door, let's just put it down, well, then we might as well give up on everybody, you know, the people who live here, the countryside, just give up on it. Oh, we're at death's door, let's just give up. Whereas if we take the attitude that Sarah's taken, which is these animals actually deserve some love and some health in their lives, then you take them in, you spend the money, and you rehabilitate them, and you give them love until they die, which I think is a fabulously worthy thing to do. But I come back to it. It needs money. Money for the vets' bills, money for the maintenance, money perhaps to buy more land, and that land needs to be fenced, money for shelters, money for staff to help, money for fundraising, because it's a constant thing. It's not just this year, it's next year, it's the year after. Horses live 40 years, some of them. And I'm just hoping that anyone who's watching this has got deep pockets.